Hi, my name is Shannon Hess, and I'm the Senior Manager of Responsible Sourcing and Sustainability for the Clorox Company. What is responsible sourcing? We're working in about 60 countries around the world for the 400 ingredients that we source for Burt's Bees products. What's going on the ground where we're getting ingredients? Who are the people who are in those communities that are growing and harvesting the ingredients for us? What's our relationship like with those people? How do we improve it? And I really consider our ingredient suppliers to be our partners. So without them, we don't have ingredients, we don't have products. They're one of the most important partners that we have in our business. We've chosen to focus our efforts on 5 key areas. With these 5 pillars, we really have laid out our roadmap for the next 3 years for responsible sourcing of Burt's Bees ingredients. So much like our target consumer goes to the farmer's market to know the grower of their ingredients, we are going and understanding what is happening with the growing and the harvesting and the processing of our ingredients. Over the past year, we've visited 8 different countries to take a look at really what's going on the ground in our sourcing communities. And we're really excited to share some of the stories and the learnings from some of the recent site visits that I've done. One example of that has been our baobab oil ingredient supplier in the Kitui province of Kenya, about 5 hours drive from Nairobi. It's 2 hours on a proper road and 3 hours into the bush with a 4x4 to get to the village. And we were honored to be taken there with our producer, who was actually from the village. And when we arrived, we were greeted by all 20 members of the village. And everyone came out to meet us on that day. It was a really big event for the village, and it was really an honor to be greeted by everyone. It's very important to these communities when we come in and they see us as a business partner. We went out into the bush, and when I say we, I mean the whole village. Everyone followed us out there, and we had a very interesting presentation of the collection and the harvesting methods and cracking open of the baobab fruit. There's 3 different ways to harvest the baobab fruit. First of all, you can throw a stick at the tree. Second of all, you can throw a rope over the upper branches and pull yourself up. And thirdly, because the baobab tree heals itself on the bark, you can insert a branch from the baobab tree and use that to climb up as a ladder. And to our big surprise, this village has just started keeping bees. So they're doing traditional beekeeping there. So we were really, really pleased that we see the traditional beekeeping logs in the tree with the baobab fruit. We really wouldn't have known that, except that we were there. One challenge is that we are working in very remote locations, and it's difficult to get a large semi-truck or a lorry on these roads that are certainly not paved. These are very remote villages, so transferring money can be challenging. M-Pesa is a mobile technology for payment, and so our baobab collectors are paid by this mobile technology. We had the great opportunity to visit a primary school or an elementary school in the sourcing community. There are schools in these communities. However, school fees are difficult to be paid by the parents, and part of the school fees are for food and water. Even with some of these challenges, the school is still winning awards for academic excellence, so I think the motivation is proof that it can be successful. And through an award that my team won, for sustainability, for our supplier code of conduct work, we were able to give a small donation to the school in our baobab community, which is the first of many community partnerships that we're looking towards in the coming years. And by 2020, our goal is to have 10 community development programs in our sourcing communities. We're looking at development projects with some of our partners in baobab sourcing for digging deep boreholes to provide water to the baobab community.
My name is Lillian Kerongo. I work for Burt's Bees R&D in the Process Development Group. I've been with the company 5 years. So back in 2009, I happened to see a video of the Ingrid school children on Facebook. And I remember saying to myself, wow, they have such beautiful voices. And then I learned that they were from Kenya. And I was even more excited because I'm from Kenya myself. In 2010, I lost my very dear sister and I had to go to Kenya for the funeral. So right after the funeral, I went to visit the school, which is like 8 hours away from my hometown. It hit me what the reality the kids were facing every day. Just driving into their neighborhood, they live in the slums, was very eye-opening for me. It was like driving into a landfill. There was mountains of trash left and right. There was open sewers running through the neighborhood. And then I come to the end of the road and I'm told, this is the school. It's not what I was expecting. It was like a makeshift shelter made of corrugated iron sheets and some scrap metal. The roof was held down by car tires. And it just didn't look like a school to me. So I continued watching the children as they lined up for lunch. I could tell the children were really hungry by the way they were eating. Later, I was told that surely this is the only meal that some of those children do get. So at that moment, I thought, I can do something. I can do something for these children. That is when I had a moment of clarity for me. It's when I realized that even though I've lost a sister, I've gained 150 siblings right here and then. And I made a personal commitment at that time that I'm going to do everything in my power to make their suffering less and to support them in their education. So I came back to the US with a heavy heart, and I told everybody, anybody that could listen to me about the children. We decided on setting up a sponsorship program where we matched the most needy children in the school with a sponsor here in the US. We organized a few fundraisings that year, and we were able to raise enough money to start a 3-story building, which we did in the summer of 2010. They're able to get not only an education, but a meal at this school, which is very difficult for these parents who earn less than $1 a day to put a meal on the table. The reason I continue to support the children at Ingrid is because I know what education can do for a person. Without education, these children have no hope. But with education, there can be a door of opportunities opened for them. I am living proof of that. Without my education, I wouldn't be working here at Burt's Bees as a process development engineer. I wouldn't. One of the best things working at Burt's Bees has been their support for my charity. They surely live the greater good that they talk about.
We're grateful to employees and suppliers who bring to our attention the needs of our communities. We'll continue to make commitments to our sourcing communities, and with responsible sourcing, we're on a journey, but we're also on a mission.